Welcome to another edition of Interruptions. I'm your host, Otis Smith. Today, I got another treat for you guys. This man here, I'm glad we're the same age. He brought you hits. I'm Not Soup, Mama Sita. All I do is think of you. Spread my wings. I'm talking one of the leaders and founding members of the group Troop, Mr. Stephen Russell Hart. How you doing, sir?
I'm doing good, man. How you doing?
I'm doing well, man. I appreciate you blessing us with your presence. I'm glad we was able to make it. Matter of fact, you was in session with someone I interviewed a couple of years ago, Mr. Lenny Williams. They told me you was in session.
I'm working on his music right now.
Hey, but did he ever tell you the story how he was singing so hard on "Cause I Love You"?
No, I gotta ask him about that.
Ask him about. It's gonna blow your mind. It's gonna be like the least likely reason why he was singing that like that.
Wow.
Ask him about
that. Okay, I'm gonna ask him about that.
My first question for you. Let me ask you this: when you guys dropped the first album, right?
Mm-hmm.
I'm Not Soup, Mama Sita. Did the album did it do what you guys wanted it to do on that first when you guys first came out?
Well, no, not really, but we understood the goal at hand. We knew that all we needed was a couple good songs on the first album to lead us into where we were headed, you know?
Okay.
But no, the record did not, sell as many records as we wanted it to. But we were happy to have the number one records off of it. You know what I'm saying? The two top fives and one number one off of it, But no, it didn't. We wanted to blow all the way up on the first one, but of course,
It just didn't happen. So when you came with the second album, did you guys, I'm talking about in the recording process, right? Did you guys say once the album was complete, like once you finished, were you guys like, oh, we about to hit them hard. They about to feel truth now. Did you guys feel that in the process?
We felt good about the album. We didn't feel like we had one of the best albums in the world or anything, but we knew we had key components on this record that was a growth from the first time, and definitely some seeds that could accomplish the goal that we were trying to set. So we knew once we had Spread My Wings, we were out of here.
Y'all were gone. Yeah.
We knew we were out of here with that. I knew more than anybody because I fought so hard for that song. I was the one knew a year before that we needed that song for the next record. So I knew we would be out of here with that. All I Do Is Think of You, the same thing. I knew we would be out of here with that, and we just needed something to lead us off. And then I wrote I'm Not Soup. And that just launched the way, and then that put us on world tours and all that. So the second album accomplished everything we wanted.
Listen, man, and I know when you guys were in your height, because like I said, I was just getting ready to graduate high school. And so, of course, I thank y'all for that album because once again, I always tell my daughters, like, that era, when you got good music, you guys didn't have to do, the fans, we didn't have to do anything. Like when you trying to get close to your girl, you just let Truth, you let Alan and Steve, you let them do the talking for you. Then you get in where you fit in.
Right.
But when you got that that Spread My Wings video, that put you guys, I felt it separated you guys, because Five Guys just like New Edition, and I'm a New Edition fan, just like you guys.
We all are, yeah.
Yeah. But you guys were. It seemed like you guys, and I'm sure you might have had a conversation maybe with the members of New Edition, but it seemed like that video, y'all were doing what they always wanted to do, but was kind of held back as far as the dancing routine. Like they were more stringent on timing, kind of like the Temptations. And you guys put something together. I don't know if you watch first reactions, but I do. Like I'll put in Truth, Spread My Wings, first reaction, and I see another generation. And when they're breaking you guys' video down, the first thing they say is, "Oh, hold up, wait a minute, this something totally different."
Yeah, man, that was our goal too, man. But what we did is, you know, we were big New Edition fan. New Edition, we were New Edition babies. New Edition is the reason that there is a truth, you know. And my whole thing was I didn't want to. The only thing that I wanted us to be like New Edition was as tight as New Edition. But as far as how we dance and the kind of dancing that we did, I was dead set against dancing like New Edition. I was not gonna do that kind of dancing because of the way I dance.
Right.
I wanted to do something more street and just be, you know, I just wanted to set our own tone.
And you did, and you did, and that's what
know.
the fans always appreciate is originality.
Yeah, that was our goal, man.
What, like I said, I had it because we're doing it on my phone instead of on my computer. So let me ask you this: what did the different members of Truth, what do they bring to the group? You know, yourself, Alan, John, Reggie Warren. I can't remember the last name, and Rodney. So I did it pretty good without my notes.
Yeah.
What did all those guys? What do all you guys bring to Truth to make Truth what it is?
Okay, Rodney is the founder. Mm-hmm. He's the choreographer for the most part.
Okay.
He brings a certain stability, a certain groundedness to the structure of Truth.
Okay.
Reggie brings all the excitement.
Okay.
He's the loose cannon in the group. He's the wildest in the group. He's the most exciting to see. You know, John is always on point. John brings centeredness. John plays his position really well in Truth. You know, he brings organization with the way we do our choreography. You know, he's really helpful with the vocals. He's a very spiritual person. Just a loving guy. He brings a very comfortable energy to the group. Alan is an amazing vocalist. He brings that, you know, he's the oldest, so he brings a certain matureness to the group. And like I said, he's such a great singer. I mean, we've yet at this point to even hear how awesome he really, really, really is, you know. So for me, he brings everything that I needed as the chosen first lead singer in the group. I knew I needed something, and Alan was definitely it, you know. So he brings all of what that it is that I needed. He brings that to the group, you know. And me, I bring just a lot of creativity, a lot of downloads, a lot of ideas. I'm a songwriter and a producer, so I bring all of that to the table. You know, all of my musical ideas. I'm a dancer, so I assist Rodney with the choreography. I'm a super perfectionist, so I bring that to the group. I bring the non-settling aspect to the group as far as music, dance, the way we look, all of that. I'm the one I bring the drive to the group, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
And the reason I wanted to ask that question, just so you know, is that a lot of times, the fans, we all, have our favorites, in the group,
Yeah.
like people
Yeah.
you could identify, but a lot of times
Yeah.
people don't know who brings what to the group. You just
Yeah.
see you and Alan singing.
Yeah.
And you know how they go, and John
Yeah.
comes in, oh man, y'all don't need them, man. Y'all, and people bring something to the table that quote unquote the fans may not see. And that's why I asked that question.
Try picking up something without a couple fingers. See how it feels.
Okay. You have to readjust. So
yes.
I call this walking again.
Yeah.
Learning how to walk again. When I lost my mother, like in 2017, and I know you guys lost Reggie. And how did you try to, pick up the pieces? Like I said, I call it walking again without that person. Living your life now, and that person is not there. How does that, for you? Because I always tell people, you never get old.
Well,
you just
my mother transitioned in 2014.
Okay.
And then that was hard enough. That's been hard enough to live with. And then Reggie, it's been tough. I have to say, we were nothing more than zombies for several years. Just going through the motions.
Right.
And it took a minute for us to wake up out of that slumber and say, hey, we gotta get back to life. We gotta wake up. We gotta feel good. We gotta feel good. So everybody, we joined forces together, reconnected our energy in the right place, and everything, it just came back alive, man.
And so shout out to Miriam, because I told her I was going to ask this question right after I asked you that one. So, man, what is out here with you and these pigeons, man? What's going on, man, with these pigeons, man? Talk to you and Mike Tyson, man. What's
you want to
going
get
on
into that? You sure you want to get into that?
Yeah. What is it about pigeons? Because myself or maybe other people, we don't know. So with you and of course, Mike Tyson, what is it about pigeons that make you guys, flock to them, to want to raise them and things of that nature?
I don't know if I was a bird in a past life or something. I really don't know, but I know, man, that the pigeon it's like an addiction. But it's a love addiction, because it's nothing but love in the relationship between you and the pigeon. And, I compete professionally with my pigeons. I breed and compete with Birmingham roller pigeons. They're pigeons that do backward somersaults really, really fast. And they do it as groups. They go up and fly, and then they all start tumbling backwards towards the ground as a group. And you score points. You score points doing that. So that's my profession, with the pigeons. And, I have a family that I started creating in 2003. So I have my own family of pigeons that I trust, and it's just amazing, man. I can't explain the relationship.
Okay.
But I know that everybody that I've encountered, doctors, lawyers, gangbangers, police, it just doesn't matter. All walks of life, we all have the same exact love and passion for the pigeons. I don't know what it is, man. I started at 7 years old, but the peace and the tranquility and the heaven experience that you have when you're amongst your pigeons, you don't really get that anywhere else, except for if you're on stage performing or doing something that you love to do. The pigeons give you a lot of peace, man.
Okay, that's good. That's good.
Yeah.
I wanted to ask that because you never know what will, bring you peace or bring you joy that other people may like, man, what's going on? But hey, if it brings you peace and joy, keep doing that.
I know people.
Keep,
I know guys that will remarry before they separate from their pigeons.
oh wow. Oh wow. Okay. I'm about to look into. Well, now the wife ain't gonna let me do nothing with no birds. She ain't gonna do that.
Hey, if you're a competitor, if you grew up in sports and you like
I did.
sports and all that, you're gonna if you get some pigeons, you get a male, which is called a cockbird. You get a cockbird and a female that you like with your own eye, and you say, "Oh, I like that one, and I like that one," and you're choosing from a good family. You take those birds home, see them, watch them mate, watch them lay eggs, watch them build a nest, watch the babies hatch. When the babies get a certain age, you put the band on the leg. Then when the baby get a certain age, you take them from the parents and start letting them learn how to fly on their own. And then you put them outside in the kit box with all the other babies. Then you start flying them eventually, and then you start watching them fly. It's like you watch the bird start trying to do the backflips, and then you watch him in 6 months turn into where he's awesome. That's the mind thing, man.
That's
you
good.
watch
And so
that.
they don't leave. I mean, they like when they fly, they just come right back.
Oh yeah, they come back, bro. They come back unless, if the hawk or something chases them away, or if you're foolish enough to fly them after you fed them a lot and they fly really high and the wind takes them, or if something silly happens. But for the most part, they come back after 15, 20 minutes, after they fly off what you fed them yesterday, they're coming right back. Yeah. It's beautiful. It's addicting, man. It's addicting. Your wife will be really mad at me for introducing you to that.
I know. That's why I was
you'll stay in the backyard, man. You'll stay back there with your pigeons, bro.
That's beautiful, man. Let me ask you this. Your how does it, and I'll give it a read. I'll give you the context after I ask the question. But how does it feel for you also not to be known just as a singer? Like when Troop was no longer in its prime, right? And deals didn't go through, all that stuff. And you get an opportunity to start producing and writing and showing another side of you to say, hey, I can eat if I just, write and produce without necessarily being the front person. What was that like for you to get that, under your belt, that to show that you're more than what we saw earlier?
Well, the first thing for me was it proved what my mother taught me my entire life while we were in the house together, just me and her, that I could do anything that I saw myself doing. So when Alan taught me how to write songs and Troop became famous, that showed me that just seeing myself on stage and feeling good about seeing that and just being there can manifest Troop. When I started to idolize Babyface, I already idolized Gerald Levert and Chucky and Keith Sweat. I had guys that I really looked up to, so I wanted to be like Babyface. I wanted to be like Gerald, so that was an inside desire that I didn't doubt at the same time of wanting it. You get it? I didn't want it and then let the ego come in and say, but dang, nobody knows me like that. Or I never did that stuff. I never cursed myself or witchcraft myself with those egotistical thoughts,
Gotcha.
And it manifested. So the first thing for me was to see it manifest was the highlight of it for me to get hits outside of Truth and major hits, I got my first gold record with the Whispers before Troop got a gold record when I was just 18.
Wow.
I did it. So that gave me a sign that I already had that possibility anyway. So by the time I got with the Underdogs and we did Naked and Take You Down and No Air and Gots to Be and one, and why do you want to change me? And,
Yeah.
The list goes on, man. It was the most relieving thing at the time, because I wasn't a happy person at the time, but I didn't disconnect in my depression. I didn't disconnect with my creative source.
Okay.
I always trusted the creative source to pay my way, to provide for me. And I just trust that. And the universe and God agrees with that belief. And it allows me to create and live, So it was wonderful to be known as a songwriter and a producer, because that's what I am. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'm not,
yeah.
I haven't been the lead singer of Troops since 1992. You know what I'm trying to say? Like, we just released a new single just recently, but I'm just saying my career is a songwriter, producer, vocal producer,
That, and that's what I love to see, the evolution, because sometimes things, when we're young, we think things are just gonna last, like it's gonna always be this way. And when it doesn't happen, now you got to try to figure it out, right? And I was glad that those opportunities came your way.
Me
But
too.
I want to come in and tell you that, excuse me, that, I actually have to watch your guys' videos to know which one of y'all sing. Well, I know when John sang. I know when John.
Yeah.
But you and Alan, like,
you can't tell the Scotties apart.
What, man? Listen, I remember I said, that's Steve. Steve always lead off, right? But when you listen, I'll always think of you. When y'all redid the Jackson Classic.
Yeah,
that's Alan starting off.
Killing it.
I'm sitting there like, man, I cannot tell them apart. I don't know which one.
Man, we hear that a lot. Well, me and Alan both are sons of Michael Jackson, man.
I was about to say that. Yeah.
Howard Hewitt and, O'Brien, Freddie Jack. We're kids of those guys. So because of that, we're similar. And because Alan, when I met Alan and Alan became my friend and, became a part of the group, I took to his mentorship as a songwriter and a singer. I wasn't a good singer like him, but I was good enough to learn how to be good, and I was good enough to learn how to emulate. So I knew that me emulating Alan, I would never sound like Alan. It'll just be a better me. So that's just what I did, and that's how I became better, just emulating Alan and trying to be good like him.
It was good, but no, it was good, man, because it was it was just like, so now when I listen to y'all music, man, I had to play video so I can know which one y'all singing.
Everybody tell us that, man.
Yeah, but it was a good thing, because I recognized, I heard the Michael sound, but I mean, well, I would say the influence, not so much the sound, because you guys still, the influence, because you guys still sound like you. Yeah. And so that was always wonderful. Can you talk briefly? And I did the same thing with Crazy Bone from Bone Thugs and Harmony. Can you kind of let people know that sometimes people, like in a family or brotherhood like you guys have, that sometimes people just grow, they go in different directions.
Of course.
In life, but it doesn't mean that, like, I don't like you no more. You're this horrible person. And so I know you guys are back touring, and like you said, you just released a single, an album?
A new single.
A new single. But for that time that we didn't see you guys together, can you talk? What people don't understand is that in family, you may have disagreements, or you may have, well, I want to do something different than what we were doing, like the creative side, but it doesn't mean that, you guys are not brothers anymore. Because, so many people always want to put negative stuff out there.
Yeah. Well, first of all, we were not taught that we were pieces of God having a physical experience. Like, first of all, we nobody teaches us that when we come here. Like, if you open up a Monopoly game, there's rules that come with that game that you can read and understand and comprehend in order to play that game.
Right.
In the game of life, you're not given those instructions. You're only given the person that is keeping contract to guide you with what they had. Right. So in gaining the knowledge that we're all independently in these bodies having a physical experience, hoping to one day remember that you're God having this physical experience so that you can manifest and use that power. We were able to allow each other to be, and even in our ignorance of that, we knew that we were kids starting this, and we knew everybody it has to grow and become who they're gonna be, and everybody comes from different families. Everybody's gonna be just like mama or daddy that they came from. Right? You're gonna be like who you come from. So everybody, all of us has those things to deal with. So what we did was, the music business allowed me thousands of hours of re-education time, and I took it. So I just passed on to my brothers what I learned as the years went on about life cycle and self-love and the virtue of selfishness. And the guys took heed to it, and we all turned inside and started to look at self as the years went on. We all decided to take on the fight with the ego. They didn't teach us about ego. Nobody told us that this flesh that we borrowed comes with an ego self that hates your guts and gonna give you thoughts, all of the negative thoughts that it can to block you. And you're gonna think that they're your thoughts. See, nobody teaches you that. So in gaining that knowledge, once everybody in the group know that they had an individual boxing match going on daily 24/7, that changed the dynamic of the group, because now everybody is dealing with themselves and their egotistical thoughts and misleadings before we deal with each other. Because see, the lack of knowledge of ego causes you to judge. Because the ego takes your lack of knowledge of that entity in that body living that life. It takes that ignorance and make you judge this person that doesn't do things correctly or the way you would do it.
You know
what I'm saying? And expectations are a lie. They didn't tell us expectations are a lie. So your ego has you judging and having expectations. So it's just chaos. It's just nothing but egotistical chaos. You've sold millions of records. You're hot now. All the ladies love you now. You're writing hit songs now. So if the ego is running everybody, it's a chaotic situation it's doomed, which is what the ego's goal is to keep you bound in low energy, so that you never match the frequency that's within you and that matches above, so that you can manifest and be high and have a heaven experience in the body. You get what I'm saying?
Oh yeah, I'm with you. Trust me, I'm with you, because the ego starts pulling everybody in 4 or 5 different directions, and then it's excuse me, it's like I'm expecting you to do something, right? Because that's what my ego is saying. Well, Steve's gonna do this right here, and then I'm gonna come in right here. And a lot of times, especially when we didn't even have a conversation about it, this is just
judgment.
What me and my ego is expecting you to do. And then when you don't do it, now I'm judging you on it, and you sitting pushing back like, hold up, bro.
Now I'm gonna judge you for expecting anything. You get what I'm saying? It's just it's chaos when you're living in ignorance, man. When you're living in ignorance, whether you think you have peace or not, you're in chaos. If you don't know that you are numero uno in your journey, you have a problem. Whether you work every day, you have peace, there's no problems. you're missing something in this experience that you came to get, whether you know it or not. And that's to remember that you are a piece of source having a physical experience. You came for love unconditional. You came to learn and remember that you are it. You came to manipulate matter and manifest things with thought into physical manifestation. We came to see the power that we have as gods in this fleshly body. But a lot of us come from backgrounds of religion where they take God from you before they tell it's you, and they put him in the sky. Now you have no identity, or they gave him a picture. He doesn't look like you. So now you're confused, which is witchcraft. God is not a confusion. That's witchcraft. Now you don't know what God looks like. Now you don't know that it's you. Now you're unworthy of it. We've been spellbound out of our God self, and that's why we suffer. So to get back to the point, the reason why Troop was able to make it through that was because of that information that was reminded us of what our issues are, so that you deal with self before you deal with others. Even in the scriptures, they say, take the piece of plank out of your eye before you take the grain of sand out of somebody else's eye. It's all true. It's all true. If I work on me, I'm going to approach you in the right way.
That's what
Even
I was
if
about
I'm
to
mad,
say.
even if I'm mad before I get on that phone and I'm saying all this shit this stuff to myself before I call you.
Right.
And being an esoteric person and working on secret self-knowledge, I'm going to deal with myself first. And when I call you, I'm going to say, hey, bro, man, can we talk about such and such?
Yeah.
You know?
We come correct, so that way we could get an understanding.
Period.
Where you was coming from. Yeah. Yeah.
And it works, man.
And with that being said, you segue beautiful to my last question for you, which is real simple, which is, how did you, the ups and downs, everything that you've been through professionally, personally, right? How did you keep your peace of mind?
Pigeons and weed.
Now hold on, you didn't get a weed to the pigeons, this.
Nah, I might have blew some while I was invading their space. But no, honestly, along with the pigeons, along with having marijuana to keep me from being egotistically insane, because the ego always wants you to feel unsafe and insecure, right? So in your life, coming from being a hit songwriter, a hit singer, whatever you want to call it, the ego is right there to remind you of what you are not in your now, right? It's going to remind you, now what you're not, by making you remember something that you believe you were, right? So you're going to see yourself on stage as Steve Russell from Troop, and then you're going to look at now and see you're in the backyard with your pigeons. Nobody's calling you, nobody knows you. So the ego wants to destroy your now over some that doesn't exist anymore.
Yeah.
Get it? So in surviving that, you have to take on the ego. When the ego comes with thoughts that don't match the way you want to feel in your now, that's when you address the ego. I don't feel that way. Right now, I don't need to do anything. Right now in this moment, I can just sit here and just be right now in this moment. I don't have to do anything. I'm not missing anything. The ego wants you to believe that there's a such thing as lack. And it will prove it to you by what you didn't have as a child. It'll prove to you how many jobs mama and daddy had. It'll prove to you your mama and daddy's relationship with money. So ego is going to come to you with that same energy to show you that there's lack and you're missing something, and that disconnects you from source.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? Because source is not going to try to prove to you and get a relationship with you. Source is going to rely on you to seek it out.
Gotcha.
You get what I'm saying? Source's the source, you being in this flesh, like I'll put it in this terms, Jesus is the middleman to God in religion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Your higher self, the real you that borrowed your body, like if you blow on the back of your hand.
Right.
Do that.
Right.
You feel that warm air on the back of your hand?
Yeah.
You can't see it, can you? Can you see it?
No, you can't see it, but you can feel it.
You feel it. You know it's there.
Right.
That's the essence of the real you that borrowed this body, right?
Mm-hmm. Yes.
That is the relationship that we have to reach for in this life that nobody teaches us. We call the higher self, something told me. I knew I shouldn't have done that. I thought of that.
Yeah.
You don't even know that that's the relationship that you're supposed to have is with self. To trust self and those godly instincts so that you can maneuver in this game. But they take that away from you by saying something told me. No, something didn't. That was the real you that gave you direction, and you don't have a relationship enough to know it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Millions of us are lost in that right there. We have no connection to self, thinking that outside of self is the answer. And that's where the confusion is, because nothing is going to come to you without it, you being with you first. You have to connect to you first. Otherwise, you have an AK-47 shooting it and you don't even know it's loaded.
Mm-hmm.
You have all this power attracting all of this stuff to you. You're wondering why you think the world is happening to you, but you're attracting it all because you're God and you don't even know it. You're not on purpose with anything that you're focused on. Relationship, the way you feel, your relationship with money is just reckless all over the place. You believe everything you've ever, the ego has you taken on everything you've ever saw or ever believed, not knowing that your journey is totally separate and that you are painting the picture as you go.
You're writing your own story. You just don't know it.
People don't know it.
You think everything is coming.
You think
external, and
you
it's
think life
internal.
is happening to you. Yes.
Yeah, because you don't realize what you're projecting out there and projecting basically onto yourself. Yeah, so I understand exactly what
surviving, and to make it simpler, surviving that time was a battle, but it's called the journey, right?
The journey, the process.
Yeah. There's just as much God in the low part of the process as he is as the high part of the process.
Yeah.
There is no lack of God at any point in the journey. That's just your belief because somebody gave you God and the devil. The devil is the ego that's housed inside of your body. That's the devil that you don't even recognize. That's not you. You think that those thoughts of somebody abusing you in the past, somebody not hugging you in the past, no daddy, no mother, you think that's you thinking those thoughts. It's not you, because the higher self is on a mission going forward. The only thing that reminding you of the past stuff is the ego self. And I just want to remind everybody that if you think thoughts and have feelings that arise at any time that are not in alignment with the way you want to feel, that is the ego. And do not be afraid to call it the ego. They lied to us about ego and called it arrogance and self-centeredness, when if you don't self-center with yourself, there is no such thing as being self-centered. You have to self-center in order to know your God. You have to. But they say self-centered, you're arrogant. He think he's better. You're supposed to think that you're the best and believe that you're better. You're supposed to feel that way about yourself. You're supposed to feel like you're supposed to teach your children that they are the best. You're not supposed to teach them to just wait and see, or no, you're supposed to know that you're the best, but we are robbed of this essence. And that's why we struggle in our life, because we struggle with humble. We think that humble is servitude, and there's no such thing as being servitude unless you're serving yourself. If you don't serve yourself, you're not honoring yourself. If you're not honoring yourself, you're cheating yourself. You're lying to yourself while other people are calling you a cheater and a liar. You get it, how it matches?
Oh, but yeah. I mean, I can't do anything for you if I, there's no adage. If I don't take care of myself, right?
People put everybody before themselves.
And then that's why you say, man, I ain't got nothing left to give. because
You have nothing left to give. You get it?
Because you never poured in here first. And then once you poured in here and said, okay, let me help Steve. But I can't help Steve if I ain't good myself.
You gotta fill the gas tank up in order to get where you're going.
Yeah, you got every time. Oh, guess what? The car will never move.
Listen,
the car ain't move.
And one other thing, the difference between the higher self, the real you, and the ego is going to do a lot of explaining. The higher self is going to give you one directive: turn left. That's it. You're either going to learn that relationship to listen to that, or you're not. The higher self is going to say, turn left. The ego is going to say, but man, we need to go over here and get gas right here, because, you're going to be led somewhere by the ego that's against the higher self. When you were a kid, they don't have this anymore, but when we were kids, they had cartoons, and there was an angel and a devil on each shoulder in most cartoons. The people that created those cartoons were esoteric people. They knew the information, but they gave it to us in the way that the teachings were supposed to go to lead us to believe in God and the devil. The angel on the one side that's telling you what to do directly is the higher self, the part of you that borrowed the body. The other side that's trying to convince you of the latter and the other things that go against you is the ego. And it's all within you before you even start your day, brother.
Yeah.
And those are the things that keep a group like true. Everybody don't have to go through all this, but for my group and my fellas, we needed to be reminded of this information so that we could reach the goals that are further than true. But we could use each other and practice unconditional love, practice forgiveness, practice oneness. You get what I'm saying? Universal law says all things are one. We create individualism and separatism. So with us gaining that information, we were able to survive and have a possible new #1 record on our hands with Lady in My Life.
Well, man, I'm gonna check that out, and I'm like I said, I'm still a big fan of the group, man. And I thank you for coming on the show.
Sorry for going so far left.
No, you ain't. Hey, what did I tell you? What did I tell you?
Oh yeah, you did.
I said it goes where you.
That's right.
Where you take it. Yeah.
That's
so
right.
thus, it's what you want to put out there, because I know you man, you've done so many interviews, man, and people ask the same question over and over, and then when you try to get a thought out, or you're trying to say something, you're trying to drop a gem or something, they want to bring you back over here because they trying to lead you down. And so my show is not like that. I like for you to speak, whatever it is that you have on your heart and mind, and get it out there, because that way it's a more authentic conversation. You know what I'm saying? Versus,
I appreciate that.
And that's why I named the show Interruptions, because I really don't know where it's gonna go.
I like that.
Yeah, that's good. But we love you, man. I would love to bring you back on the show. I was blessed to have the Whispers. So maybe, man, we can set something up, man.
Oh my God.
With bringing the Whispers on and bringing Lenny on, and then because you work with all this, so we try to set that up maybe later on.
You need to set that up, man.
Okay, I'll work on it, man. We'll work on putting that together.
Man, the Whispers, the Whispers made me, bro. The Whispers gave me my first shot as a producer. They gave me my first gold album, and Scotty told me he was doing it. He told me, I'm gonna do the same thing that we did for Kenny Babyface, as we're gonna do the same thing for you. We're gonna get you your first hit, and they did it, man. They embraced me and treated me like family. I'm indebted to the Whispers.
Yeah, they're good guys, man. They came on my show. They blessed me, man. Poured into me, said a lot of positive things to me during the interview, man. And so I'm real thankful. So I know what you're talking about. They some real great guys.
Yeah.
And, make sure you ask Lenny about why was he singing that song so hard.
I'm gonna ask him today.
It's gonna throw, when he tell you, it's gonna throw you. You're like, so you was what? Yeah, because see, a lot of people. I'm not gonna tell you the story, but I'm gonna let him tell it. But a lot of people think he's saying that he must have been going through that, and bro, it's so further from the truth. When you find out why he was singing so hard.
That's funny, man.
You when I said, man, you gotta be kidding me. You know, but
Wow.
it's a good story. It's a good story. It's a good story. The only thing I tell you, just so make sure, because he, you know, you want to make sure he in the same thought, you know, because you never know where you go. Just say, hey, I just tell me why was you singing that song like that? And Andre Crouch. Just say Andre Crouch. And
Okay.
he gonna give you a story that's gonna blow your mind. But
Okay.
man, I work on that for the summer, but stay safe and stay blessed, man. And we love you out there.
Hey, thank you. I love you too. And like I said, once again, thank you for your platform, man. Thank you for the support. You can contact me and follow me on Instagram at Steven_he wrote it, or Steve He Rich. I'm sorry, Steve He Rich, or on Facebook, Steve Russell Harts, HARTS.
I will follow back, and you'll know it's me because you'll see my face. So I'll follow back.
New Troop single coming out, Lady in My Life, April 28th.
Okay.
Check out my series on Tubi called Day One, Season 1 and 2.
Okay.
Check out my documentary, Tales of a Boy Band and Five of a Kind, The Story of Troop, all streaming on Tubi right now. Thank you.
All on Tubi.
I love you guys.
Okay.
Yes.
And when will it? Excuse me. Do you know when you guys will do a video for the new single?
The new single, the video is out right now on YouTube. Lady in My Life.
YouTube. Lady in My Life. Okay. Yes. Everybody check that out. And what I do when I put I'm gonna put 2 trailers out, but one of the trailers I'll insert some clips of the video out.
Okay, nice. Appreciate you, man.
All right, man. Love you.
All right, thank you. All right, love you too.